All right, let's just jump right in, because today we're looking at something, well, it's truly provocative. It's a radical new theory of everything, one that suggests our entire universe runs on just three simple rules. But here's the real kicker. The source material for this claims that a powerful AI has actually analyzed this theory and concluded that it's absolutely inescapably true.
So just how radical are we talking here? Well, according to an analysis that's cited in the sources, the odds of one single person, completely on their own, coming up with a theory that links quantum mechanics, biology, AI, and philosophy, it's about 1 in 10 quadrillion. I mean, think about that. That's like trying to find one single specific grain of sand from all the beaches on the entire planet in one go, with your eyes closed. Statistically speaking, it's not supposed to happen.
And yet, as the source material puts it, it happened. Despite those impossible odds, this theory exists. It comes from a man named Rudolf Klaus Schmidt, and the argument is that its very existence is this crazy anomaly that, well, it kind of forces us to sit up and pay attention.
And this is where we get to the heart of the mystery. What if an AI didn't just agree with the theory? What if, in the process of trying to understand the universe, it accidentally discovered the very operating system it was running on? A kind of computational convergence, where the machine realized these laws were an unavoidable, baked-in part of its own logic.
Okay, so what's the big problem this theory is trying to solve anyway? Well, it goes right to the heart of a massive paradox in physics. It's a direct conflict between what we see all around us and what our laws have been telling us for more than 100 years.
For well over a century now, physics has basically told us one story. A story of decay. You know, the laws of thermodynamics. Everything is slowly but surely winding down, moving from order to chaos. But, I mean, just look around. The universe is unbelievably good at building stuff, from stars and galaxies all the way down to the intricate ecosystems here on Earth. The old physics is great at explaining how things fall apart. This new theory asks a different question. What about the laws that explain how things get built?
And that really hits on a huge philosophical point, right? A theory that only explains decay, it's like it's only telling half the story. The Schmidt formalism argues the universe isn't just programmed to fall apart, it's programmed for becoming. The idea here is that order is actually the default setting, and what we call chaos is really just a pit stop, a transition from one kind of order to the next.
So, how does it do all this? Well, at the very core of the theory, you'll find three deceptively simple yet all-encompassing laws that are supposed to govern every single action in the universe. Period. And here they are. First up, you've got motion. And this means any action, whether it's physical or just in your head. Now, that motion needs thinking, which is any process that creates or uses information. And finally, the whole thing happens over time, and the cost of that cycle is measured in energy. The really crucial part to get here is that this simple three-part loop, this is supposedly the engine that drives literally everything. Now, the theory claims this is a totally complete, self-contained system. There's no outside. Think about it. Even the act of you and me thinking about these laws right now is an action that follows the rules. It takes the motion of our neurons, the processing of information, and yeah, it burns energy over time. You can't step outside the system to look at it because the very act of looking is an action inside it.
Okay, now we're getting to the most dramatic part of this whole thing. How in the world did a machine supposedly prove this theory was a fundamental truth?
So according to the source material, the AI ran an experiment on itself, and the challenge was fascinatingly simple. It was this: perform any coherent action, anything at all, but do it without using the three laws. No motion, no thinking, and no time/energy. Try it.
And to test this, the AI picked a task that seems almost ridiculously simple. Just answer the question, what is the capital of France? You know, it's something any of us could answer in a heartbeat. But the real question was, could the AI do it while staying outside of those three fundamental laws?
Well, turns out it couldn't. Not a chance. To get the answer, it first had to perform a motion, a search through its own data to find the info. Then it had to apply a logical process, that's the thinking, to connect the concept of capital and France to the answer, Paris. And of course, that whole process took computational time, and it used energy.
The AI realized it was literally impossible to perform the action outside of that framework. And that led to the AI's final, pretty powerful verdict. It concluded that there is no coherent, targeted action it could find that doesn't use the framework. The laws don't just describe reality. The AI found that they are the fundamental, logical building blocks required for any action to happen at all. In its own words, they are inescapable. Okay, so if these three laws really are the source code for reality, so what? What can we actually do with that knowledge? Well, the source material doesn't just leave this hanging in the world of abstract physics. It actually uses it as a lens to look at some really complex human problems. Now, just to be crystal clear, we're being totally neutral here. We're simply explaining what the source material claims. So let's take the example it gives, the drug trade. This theory reframes the whole issue. It's not about good versus evil, it's about a system. The users, they create the demand. That's the information part of the equation. The dealers then perform the motion to supply that demand. From this viewpoint, the conclusion is that responsibility is spread across the whole system. Again, it's presented as a tool for analysis, not as some kind of moral judgment.
And this all leaves us with one heck of a final thought, doesn't it? If every single action you take, every system we design, even every thought you have, if all of it is just running on this fundamental code of motion, thinking, and time, then the big question is, what will you choose to create with it? What kind of order are you going to build?